Hey everyone, Michelle here at Be Rejuvenated Studio. Welcome back, and I want to thank you for joining us again. Today we are on part 2 of 4 of how do people change if they ever do. And the question today is, why often do people change or not grow or change? Why often do people not grow or change? So let's get right into it. Because they excuse themselves for not being able to change. That's the biggest reason right there. Often people use the story that's brought them crisis as a means to excuse themselves. But the real fact is that 50% of the story isn't even true. And you guys, the mind is very, very creative. It often makes up for more of the story for people to be able to make it sound worse than it really was. And then that makes it harder of a reason to change. So what happens? People in the end use that to justify why they can't change or why they can't grow, and so they don't. Well, why do people do that? Well, that's a great question, and the answer is because people often are very afraid to make the jump. They're afraid to see what's on the other side. But if they stop for a minute and they just drop what the story is and just trust and know that on that other side is the peace they're looking for, the answer they're looking for, the change they're looking for, that is the very first step in actually making a change. And we're going to get more into how you change in our third part series. But for now, what I really want to say here is, don't reaffirm your limited sense of inability to change. It may feel justified, like why you haven't changed, but it only keeps you stuck in where you are or what you're afflicted with. And the thing is, why argue for your limitations and instead argue for your unlimitedness? Flip it, guys. We're so used to thinking that we have to prepare for the worst all the time. And that's actually a survival mode skill, which is really a basic animal instinct. But as humans, we have more than what the basic animal has, right? And that is the ability to discern and our speech. So, that's the whole point. We are so much more unlimited than we even realize, but yet we're so afraid of our power. And just that minor shift in our thinking, that power that we have and that unlimited we have is actually, that's like our gift, our tool. And it's not something we should be afraid of. Because even if we, trip up and make a mistake, we can always change it. And the less amount of time you spend on that trip up, the quicker it is to turn things around. Because the less momentum and energy you give something, the quicker it dies. Just like a plant that you may not any longer water or nurture, right? If you don't feed it and give it the light and water that it needs, it's going to die. So it's the same thing with your thoughts and your feelings, which produce what you experience. So in our next part series, we're going to get more into how do I change, because it's a lot simpler than we all like to think. And it's so much less stress and energy empowering than to be stuck where we are and use our excuses and our stories, which most of the time aren't even true. And it saves us so much time in getting us to where we really want to be and where we really want to go. So that's it for now, and thanks for tuning in, and I will see you at the next one for part 3. Take care. Much love to you. Bye-bye. This video was inspired by the teachings of Dr. Joe Dispenza and the Law of Assumption and teachings by Neville Goddard. These teachings have inspired me to want to share the knowledge that I have in helping us all become better versions of ourselves. Thanks for joining me here at Be Rejuvenated.